Hello and welcome to 8 Bull Super Speedway Site to Chase race number 1 of the Coke Vanilla Cup Series. This is it, the final 10 races, and a little bit of a new rule starting this week. No longer with the provisionals where I can just tell you where someone is in owners points. I know the 30 cars that are locked in via both of these groups. And we know who will be the go or go homers for the final 10 races. It will be top 30 in owners points are locked in with the two special circumstances, one in this group and one in group 2. But first on the track is Matt Dixon. He is one of the go or go homers. This car 43rd in the owners points. I actually only know the cars that are in the top 43. Those are the only ones I listed out for the owners chase. We'll get to that later on as well. And we'll get to the driver's chase to talk about that a little bit, hopefully. But Matt Dixon, first car out, 43rd in the owner's points for car number 40, the top of the Ganassi gang. And he will have to make it in on speed. Just go this way, I guess. Tom Shelley coming out on track. He's one of the guys who's in both the driver's and the owner's chase. Got into both of those via points and will be seated 14th in both the drivers and the owners chase coming in. But Tom Shelley locked in due to the idea that he is in the drivers chase. And like I said, top 30 in the owners points also locked in. So Tom Shelley knows he will race. Matt Dixon sets the first lap of the day, a 50.443. These will come massively far down. Good season for Tom Shelley. Just hasn't gotten to victory lane yet. Can he make it today in the My Coke Rewards chase scheme? There you see it with the red and the white donned for Coke Vanilla. Henry Sanford out on track. Interesting thing for him. He's driving the 31. 31 is in the owner's chase, not because of the win, any win Henry Sanford got, but because of the win that Ashley LaPlante got in the 31 back at Auto Club. And the first car Henry drove, also in the owner's chase, not because of a victory for Henry Sanford. So, get to that later on. But Henry Sanford got something to drive for the final 10 races, trying to win the owner's chase for RCR in that 31 singular wireless Chevy. Will Lewis, one of the guys who is a go or go homer, but he's got the interesting case. You see the red and the black on this car. Will Lewis also in the driver's chase. So he will not go home because of that. So he's one of the extra cars also locked in. Because of the driver's chase, there are 32 cars who will be locked in. We'll get to the other one, like I said, in Group 2. But Will Lewis trying to draft with his teammate, Ashley Brock, and they're trying to get both of these two Roush cars into the field on time. Because Ashley LeBrock also... Ashley Brock, I am so sorry, William, I'm so sorry. Ashley Brock, also a go or go homer in the 26. This car 40th in the owner's points coming in. So if they can make it, that would be a good sign for them as well. Cosmic Nova, also a go or go homer. All three of the Ganassi cars are go or go homers. And right now, Cosmic Nova top of the speed charts. So looking fairly good there. And I'm liking what I see out of the top of this board. I see a lot of cars that are going to be in red. We'll get to those guys later. But Cosmic Nova doesn't even come into this race with this car top 43 in the owner's points. So probably safe to say the final 10 races we'll see a lot of Cosmic Nova having to try and lock his way in on speed. Amy Shelley, there you see her. Now top of the board, 47.4. Well, now not anymore. But you see the Racing for Jesus car red and white now instead of its traditionally green and orange. Amy Shelley comes into this race in both the owners and the drivers, seated 3rd in the owners, and I believe actually 4th in the drivers. Will Lewis is actually seated third in the driver's chase because he had 2 wins this season. Jonathan Zorline here, 15th right now on the speed chart. He is one of the cars that is a go-or-go homer, so they're going to have to try and compare themselves with the other 26 guys. There are 27 cars that are go-or-go homers, and like I said, with 2 guys locked in, that makes it 25 guys racing for 10 spots. 15 will go home, so you just have to not be in the slowest 15. And it basically also means I just don't know who's going to be DNQ'd out of this group. There's Jay Stella. He's another one of the go-or-go homers. And this car not in the top 43 in the owner's points as well. So I can't tell you where he's at. Troy King comes into this race in both the drivers and the owner's points, so good job for them. The No Fear car, you see their chase scheme here, a little bit darker red for the Troy King car. But the 60 comes into the owner's chase seated 5th, and I believe that makes them 6th in... It's either 5th... Actually, no, I think they are 5th because they're behind the 31. But I'm pretty sure they're 5th in the drivers and owner's chase then. Ali Nelson, one of the cars locked into this race, but not by much. The Bill Davis Dodge, the only one not in the owner's chase for Bill Davis Racing, comes into this race 28th in the owner's points. So, going to need a good run and hope that some of the guys maybe either towards the bottom half or outside the top 30 don't have good runs. So, see how that goes. Hiroshi Kazuyoshi also locked in, but by the skin of their teeth, by 47 points right now over 30th. They are 27th in the owner's points right now. Preston Plord comes into this race fairly safe. He is 600 points ahead of the cutoff point. This team, not in the owner's chase, but 18th in the owner's points coming in. They've had a very spectacular season so far, and I forgot to... One moment. Sorry, I'm back. Okay, so we've gotten all 29 cars out there at least. Who else do I have left to talk about here? Jeff James comes into this race locked in, 23rd in the owner's points. I'm actually kind of shocked that they don't have the sponsor on the car because they're locked in, and they are quick. 7th right now on the speed charts. Not been a very good year for them. Kyle Matthews, luckily for him, comes in locked into this race. 20th in the owner's points. Right now, 25th quickest. Jake Baskinger, not so lucky. 24th quickest. And they had to make it in on speed. 39th in the owner's points. This is actually the top Gibbs car in the owner's points right now. So that's kind of a sad statement for their year. Jessica Shelton there, 15th. Just missed making the driver's chase by only a couple of spots, actually. So they are go homer because this car comes into this race 37th in the owner's points. Needs to make a few of these to probably try and move into the top 30, in all honesty. Axel Casella there in the 80, a spectacular season for Stan Hoover Motorsports. They're 20th in the owner's points, or 22nd in the owner's points coming in, I'm sorry. Currently 13th quickest. Sorry, 16th quickest. Stephen Powell III just went up to 13th. You see the chase scheme there for the Holiday Inn Chevy. Comes into this race top of the chase grid and top of the owner's points. So, but not by much. It's only 30 points in this one from 1st to 16th. So, one bad race here and your chase is not off to a good start. Alex Hawkins, currently 22nd, had to make it in on speed, not in the top 43 in owner's points coming in. And Ben Newworth, good thing he's locked in, 21st on the speed charts right now for him. Seated 9th on the owner's chase, and I believe it's fairly similar. I think he's either 8th or 9th on the chase grid as well for drivers. And here's the mess of cars. Tristan Wilhoit, 28th quickest right now, had to make it in on speed. Sam Curtis is 5th, had to make it in on speed as well. Just missed the owner's chase by about 14 points. Also missed the driver's chase by that same amount. Dylan Young is 13th on the chase grid, made it in on points, and is also in the owner's chase as well. Jim Casella has to make it in on speed, 35th in the owner's points right now, but also missed the driver's chase. Matthew Marias is 27th, also had to make it in on speed. This car not even in the top 43 in owner's points. Henry Powers is the slowest car out there right now and does not have a whole mess of help either. But you see the red on white on his scheme, he is locked in. He's also in the owner's chase as well. 6th seated in the owner's chase coming in. And let's see if there's anyone I did not talk about. Don't think I talked about Mary Shelley. There she is. 23rd quickest, just coming back out onto the track. And the defending champion pulled off the miracle at Richmond. Won the race with a last lap pass over Brendan Patterson to clinch their spot into the drivers and the owners' points. They were not going to make either one of them without that win. And so you see the pedigree Ford here with its chase scheme, red and black, unfortunately, because black's hard to deal with. But you see the roof number changed to red as well, and the side numbers are white. I believe that was actually standard anyway. But, oh well. 25th quickest though, but knows that they will race. I think that does it. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this, but now I'm just going to look for some of the people that are trying to improve their speed. Well, now standby time has started. So flying laps are counting, but these are the last laps that will count for any driver. So Cosmic Nova, one of the Go homers, looks to be the fastest in this group. Unless one of these guys improves their time. And that is it. So you look at the speed charts here. Nova tops out the top of the board. Amy Shelley, Eric and Rage, 2 chasers, 2nd and 3rd. Dylan Young, a chaser, in 5th. Troy King in 8th, another chaser. And a couple of guys who were in the Go Home list that are in the top 10. So let's see how that goes looking ahead to the next group. Some people sweating bullets probably in terms of what happens in the next group would be Jake Baskinger, Alex Hawkins, and probably Jessica Shelton there also in the 43. Not quite sure how this will go looking ahead, but we'll see. Matthew Marias also not too safe there, 47.56. But like I said, there's 15 Go homers, so all they have to do is just beat 15. Alex Hawkins the one in the most trouble. He didn't beat any, or sorry, Jake Baskinger in the most trouble. He's the one that didn't beat anyone out of this group of the Go homers. So with that, take a short commercial break, or a short break, and we'll be right back for group 2. And we are back with group number 2. Already a car out there, and if you saw the red and the white, no, that is not a chase scheme, because that is Dylan Casella for Roush Racing. 06 car, been well documented their struggles this season for the rookie. And they come into this race not even in the top 43 in the owner's points. The Sharp Aquas Ford going to have to look for some help to try and make this race. You see AAA also on the car. I didn't notice that before. Max Newworth in the mostly unsponsored number 4 car. Or sorry, actually no it isn't. Sorry, I forgot the hood on that. The Bully Hill Food City Chevrolet for Morgan McClure Motorsports. Has to make it on speed because he is not even close to being in the top 43 in owner's points. He's down there with the 06 at this point of the season. So we'll have to see how Max Newworth can do at trying to make it, or whether or not he'll just focus on the Hooters series or the Reebok Truck Series, because he's top of the chase grid over there. So had a lot better season there than he has here. Daniel Day comes into this race locked in 24th in the owner's points for the Havoline Ford. It's been a little bit better than that, though. The only reason they're that low is just because of the owner's chase and how that got set up. So I was trying to look for someone that was on track, but okay. Let's go this way. Robert Pollard in the 72 for CJM Racing. The Stone Quality, I don't even know what the exact sponsor is, but 72 has to make it on speed, 36th in the owner's points coming in for the 72 car, as Dylan Casella becomes the first one to set a lap, and Max Newworth immediately goes quicker. Now here's the other case that we were talking about in the open, or in Group 1, Levi McIntyre. You see the red and the white. This is a reverse scheme for how the car looks normally. Just flip the red and the black. And Levi is in the driver's chase, but this car not in the owner's chase. This car is 38th in the owner's points coming into this race. So, been a very miserable season for them, and you can only imagine what had to be done to get them into the driver's chase. Levi did have 1 win during the regular season, so we'll have to see how that goes. And the top time that they're gunning for to try and get the pole, a 46.99. I have no clue what the Go homers are going to be trying to shoot for here. Brian Patterson comes into this race locked in. You see he's 9th quickest so far. These will jumble up a lot, but he's even more in danger than Ali Nelson was in Group 1. Brian Patterson comes into this race 29th in the owner's points for the 17 car. So these guys are going to have to try and hope for a good run here today, they don't want to fall out of that and be go or go homer come next week. Dylan Thoreau currently is one of the go or go homers, 7th quickest on the speed charts. And for this team, the Robbie Gorin Motorsports team, they are 33rd in the owner's points. That's why they are go or go homers. Not too terribly, but hey, you never know with a good run what might happen. As goes top of the board now for only a split second. Kyle Collins here, you may not be able to tell it, but this is a chase scheme, a little bit darker red for the 32 Tide Chevrolet. And they do come into this race in the owner's points, seated 8th in the owners, and I'm pretty sure it's fairly similar. Either way, he's in the 1 win club for the driver's chase, so tied with all the guys who had 1 win that made it in. Ish Taylor this week is a Rick Ware car in the Pro30.com. Currently 6th quickest, as here comes Mason Neal trying to set a quick lap. Was 4th quickest so far. Gonna dive out, get a little bit of the clean air. And both of them, I believe, ran quicker. Yes, they did. But the 30 car does have to make it in on speed, even with the combined points of it being Rick Ware and Chip Ganassi there for the 30. Mason Neal, 10th quickest right now in the 12 car. Did not make either the drivers the owner's chase, but still been a spectacular rookie season for him to be where they were in points, just outside the top 10, I believe, or just inside of it in drivers. And I think about 13th or so in the owner's points. But either way, they will race on, or in this one, they do have a guaranteed spot. DJ Curtis also with a guaranteed spot for MB2 Motorsports, currently 20th quick, as everyone's still running quicker pretty much every lap, although never mind, not anymore. If time's kind of stable out on this is going to be looking good for anyone that was in Group 1. Top time over here is a 47.41. And to compare that, the 47.41 would have been 14th quickest only in Group 1. So, time's not as quick over here as they were in the other group. As I say that, Gene Sanford goes top of the board of this group with a 47.30. But for the 14, they are 26th in the owner's points coming in, so still needing a good run in the Principal Financial Chevy. Well, this is not good for William Duncan fans. He is a go or go homer, and he is all alone out on the track. He'd be better off probably just coming to pit lane and trying to get himself into a little bit of a pit party with cars to try and get a better lap. But right now, 25th, we'll have to see how it goes for the Lowe's Chevy. Sky Commons there chooses now to bring out the Auto Value bumper to bumper car. I don't know the exact sponsor. I'm so sorry on this. But the Evernham car, this was the top car to not make either the owners or the drivers chase. Sky Commons was 6th in drivers, and I believe the team was 7th in owners and did not make it in. And just the reason why is because with the amount of winners that made it in, these guys didn't have enough of the points to make it in. They were just short on it too. They just missed it by a couple of points there to the 27 car. We'll see them later on as well. Sam Young, he's got the spot everybody wants. He is 16th on the chase, 16th on the practice charts, yes, but that's not the spot everybody wants. He's got 30th in owners points coming in. If it is a bad run for Sam Young, they may not be locked into the next race. And for Sam Young, he is the only, and I repeat, only RCR car not on the owner's chase. You have the 33, the 31, and the 29 all there. So, only one that is not in there. Charles Jackson, currently 15th quickest, 47.68. Now 47.52 puts him up to 11th. But you see the different looking McDonald's scheme here for Charles Jackson. He is in the chase. He's in the owner's chase as well. And in both he is seated 2nd. Now granted, I say seated 2nd, but he's tied for the points lead coming in because he and Stephen Paul III both had 2 wins. Theo Stegall not in red because of the idea that they were not in the driver's chase. Didn't make top 30 anyway, but was already deemed he wouldn't be given the spot because he didn't race the whole season. 8th quickest right now, but this car is on the owner's chase. Comes in seated 11th, which also makes the idea that Alex Perkle, who's top of our board in this group, is the only DEI car not in the owner's chase. So kind of interesting little bit of trivia there for you. Steve Pollard there, you see the red and the white numbers for them. I don't think the white numbers are any different, just now it's more brought out because of the red colors. On what was a all black car. 14th quickest. The final guy to make the chase in both the drivers and the owners. And it's all due to the fact that he finished 43rd or 42nd at Richmond, so they got the minimal amount of points there, and just barely snuck in by their teeth there, basically. Chris Louvier has to make it on speed with his 2 wins this season. They're not even top 43 in the owners' points for this Chevy, and they're bringing out the Pepsi scheme. I wonder if that might be the reason why. Kidding, obviously, but it's just kind of funny that it's the Pepsi car that's struggled so much this season. Well, alright. We're already repeating cars, so I guess we'll talk about this way. As I mentioned before, Alex Perkle, who is top of our board right now, is the only DEI car not to make it in, so you wonder if they're maybe testing some things out for the 8 and the 15. But if they are, they need to put that stuff on the 8 and the 15 and pronto, because that car is quick. The Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats Chevy with the all black there. Looking quick. They are 21st in the owner's points coming in, so Perkle will race. Momo Akari, who is 2nd on the board, also knew that they would race. They are 25th in the owner's points coming in, 47-24. And you see the pack here, which has a car that we have not talked about yet. But for Akari, they know that they'll race, and apparently they've got a quick car. Neither Penske car in the owner's chase or the driver's chase. Gene Sanford, 3rd quickest in the Napa car. You see the red sporting a 110 race plus losing streak. I don't even know the exact amount of races since the last time Gene Sanford won. I can just tell you the exact track. Her last win coming season 1 at Indy, but she made it in on points. Also has this car in the owner's chase on points, so hoping that her consistency might just help her win a title maybe. Who knows? Haven't talked about Chris Washer yet. You see the red and the white on his scheme for the chase scheme. Currently 5th quickest in this session and 12th in the owner's chase, and I believe that's 12th also in the driver's. Yes, because the same amount of people made it in. Chris Washer, your regular season points leader, still looking for that first win of the season in the Kellogg Chevy. We'll see if he can do it today or this weekend. Right now, it looks like he's got a quick car, but obviously that doesn't mean a whole lot when we're talking about draft. Ironically enough, the next one is right here. Mason Powers, the Post-it Ford, number 16, 4th quickest right now. Top, the fastest go-or-go homer in this group with a 47.40. That said, I think that pretty much will put him in the race. There was going to be at least, with the amount of go-or-go homers in any one group, there was at least going to be one go-or-go homer from each group. There's only 13 in Group 1, and like I said, you have to beat, there's 15 cars that, well, there's 15 cars that go home. They're racing for 10 spots, so theoretically, I guess, never mind. Never mind, I guess there is the possibility. It's very slim, though. But look, I don't know how Mason Powers is looking because I can't compare the lap times. I actually talked about Patterson already. Hadn't talked about Zach Kreller, who comes into this race having to make it in on speed, and he too also is not drafting with anyone. And his teammate just went to the top of the board, new fastest go-or-go homer in this group, 47.15. So we are quite well, nope, it's not yet down to the second speed. I was going to say we might be looking at an all go Homer front row at this rate, but not quite. Actually, I don't think we talked about Kenny Bale. In fact, Skinko Chevrolet also not top 43 in the owner's points because he's the only Gibbs car that is not top 43 in the owner's points, as the 20th Cruller is 41st. Ash Curtis, good timing here, going to the pit lane. He's 15th quickest, also a Go Homer, not in the top 43 in the owner's points. I saw Seth Cole there. He's 5th quickest, just made a jump up. Or no, never mind. Made it the lap before that. Seth Cole, lowest in the owner's points, so at least the bright side for him, he's not going to have to sub out any of these, so he can actually get the driver's points there as well as the owner's points for that car. And where do we begin with this guy? A very rough week. Good thing they didn't bring their 8-bowl car here or to Richmond, because they wrecked 2 cars. And for the D&Q race, even though you didn't get to see it, they had to resort to the 2007 car that they are hoping to bring, and we might see if whether or not it'll be Mary Shelley racing that car again. 13th quickest and looking quick, at least for once they didn't wreck a car. At least this week they didn't wreck a car. So, and with that, I took a lot longer in this one because we're already in standby time. Looks like fairly safe to say that William Duncan will miss. They were by them. He was by himself the entire time. Literally took the Jimmy Johnson strategy. Dylan Casella here, 27th. Probably safe to say they will miss it, as well as Zach Kreller and Robert Pollard. Yep. And that is it. Times are not counting. There you see all 28. If you notice the one car missing and weren't on Facebook to see it, yes, the S3 Motorsports 05 not going to be running any of the final 10 races to prepare themselves for Season 5. They do want to try and run the whole schedule, which requires them to build not only a new car for the COT, but a couple of other new cars. They didn't have the most cars in that stable, and they did lose a few over the year. But that does it for qualifying. What I can tell you is the front row is Cosmic Nova and Amy Shelley. And it looks like Kenny Bale will be locked in as well. I'm not even going to try and speculate as to who all is in the field here. All I'll say is the starting grid will be up right after this. I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed qualifying. Hey, I don't know, maybe you did. I'll see you next time.